The second game of the college football playoff is ready to roll as the Miami Hurricanes get set to do battle as they travel to College Station to play the Texas A&M Aggies for a chance to continue their playoff run. Welcome on in, guys. This is the Southern Sports Scene. My name is Lucas Hill. Thank you guys for hopping on in. Make sure you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe button down below and turn on the bell notifications so that you are notified every time we go live, post a new video, post a new reel, or whatever we do here on the Southern Sports Scene. Want to thank our good friends over at Frost Buddy. Going over to frostbuddy.com, use promo code SSS15 to get yourself 15% off of all coffee mugs, tumblers, whatever it is. The holiday season is fast approaching, and it's never too late to get yourself some late holiday gifts when you use promo code SSS15. Also, thank you to our friends at Chike Nutrition. The best coffee on the market, 20 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 1 gram of fat. Go ahead, click the link below to get 10% off and start your fitness journey as we start the new year. Let's talk about Miami. And we'll get into the entire breakdown of both of these teams first. Miami, throughout the majority of this season, has looked inconsistent at best. You start the season off 5-0, and you look like, and I said this live on air, that I thought Miami was the best team in college football after the month of September. And then the Louisville game happened where you looked vulnerable, where you just saw Carson Beck make the most abhorrent of throws and look really bad. He did the same thing 2 weeks later when you went to Gerald Ford and you played Doubt and you played SMU. You know what happened? You made really bad reads and it cost you. Now, the last 4 games of the season, offenses looked much better. Got a signature win against Pitt, which was enough to convince the voters to put you guys in over Notre Dame, which you beat earlier in the season because Carson Beck played an efficient game. Guys, how does this Miami offensive line face against this Texas A&M defensive line? Offensively, you've done well, and you're going to have to rely on that front five that at times has looked pretty good this year. I thought that overall, Miami's offensive line, you talk about a guy like Francis Mauigoa, only 11 sacks allowed this year, top 11 nationally. That matchup between Francis Mauigoa and Cassius Howell is going to be one where a lot of people need to pay attention to. Cassius Howell is a really dangerous threat out on the edge. You know that already. Many teams know about that already. You can't allow for him to get free. And you can't allow for him to be on an island alone, one-on-one with a tackle. He's got an arsenal of different pass rushes in his mind that he's going to use this weekend. If A&M is able to put pressure on Miami, then it's going to be a long night for Carson Beck. And Carson Beck knows firsthand about what it's like to play an SEC defensive line with a lot of veteran presence that's going to get after him a lot. It hasn't happened much this year, but it all starts with the big boys up front for Texas or for Miami. How does the passing attack look? Malachi Toney has looked like has been one of the best freshmen out in college football. He's 18 years old and he's dominated. 84 catches, almost 1,000 yards receiving. Is going to have one of these games where he has 10 to 12 catches tonight. And I would also recommend that you get him out on the edge. I would have him carry the football a little bit. Jet sweeps. Get him on the extensions of the run games. Screens. Short passes. Little things so that you can spread that A&M defense out A&M has struggled tackling in space, and they have struggled against top 50 defenses. Even against teams like Arkansas, who went 2-10, they struggled to shut them down. They struggled being able to contain in the short game. Because when your receivers get free, you have bad rush lanes, you get bad angles. You can't have that, especially with a team with the amount of athletes that Miami has. How does Miami's defense look like? That defensive line and their physicality has been incredible. When you have a Miami defensive line that has looked really unstoppable, Rueben Bain Jr., top 5 player right now in the NFL draft. I expect him to be a top 5 pick. He's going to be a guy that you need to look out for. Rueben Bain is going to be have to put pressure on Marcel Reed, and you've got to be able to contain 10. If you don't, you're going to get burnt. That back 7 has struggled at times against the pass, especially when their back's against the wall in the red zone, coming off of turnovers. When it's those sudden change situations, Miami's defense has tended to struggle at times. So we'll see what happens there. On the Texas A&M side, guys, their defense, their back 7 has looked suspect. They got torched against Texas when they allowed for a guy like Arch Manning to just pop off on them. When you see Arch Manning have pretty much the game of his career as a Texas Longhorn at this current moment, and you see the type of impact that he created that weekend, guys, that's going to generate some concern for that A&M back 7 that struggled to contain the array of receivers that Texas had. And I'm not saying that Texas's receivers are not as good as Miami's. But what I am saying is that this is a secondary that has done this all year. This is a secondary that has failed miserably to shut down these high passing situations. That has failed on third down when their back's against the wall and they take a shot down the field. They've struggled in those one-on-one battles. You're not going to be able to win those games if you're stuck on an island one-on-one with Malachi Tony and you're in the open space one-on-one and you got a chance to tackle him and you're not there to make the play. You got to be able to make those types of plays, man. You can't allow for a guy like that to get free. Marcel Reed has to have a better game. Now, he's healthy. Yes. He should be healthy. I know he got hurt a little bit during the game against Texas, but I think he is completely fine now, which is a good thing for Texas A&M. A healthy Marcel Reed can break a game open, but we've also seen him when he struggles. He's going to have one of those special moments tonight. Marcel Reed is going to have to play like he was the Heisman Trophy contender 4 weeks ago. Remember when we were having those conversations? Guys, Marcel Reed is going to have that moment this weekend. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to play up to what his standard of excellence is going to be, which is to prove that he truly is the best quarterback in the SEC. He's shown promises of it, and he's done really well in those moments. He's got to play clutch. Texas A&M has to play a complete game. The second half adjustments that they make, that's great and all. We've seen it work throughout this season. But we've also seen them backfire, a la Texas. You got to play 60 minutes. Texas A&M cannot get complacent in these certain situations. So you better be ready for what Miami is about to bring, because this is going to be a dogfight. So looking at the line for this game, Texas A&M is -3 to cover this football game. I got to give it to them, man. My prediction for this one, I got the Aggies covering. It's at home. They have the advantage offensively. I think Miami's going to spring a couple of big plays on them early on, but I think that Marcel Reed and the array of receivers that they have with Mario Craver, with Casey Concepcion and company, they've recovered from that past football game against Texas. They learned from what they did wrong. They're able to rebound, regroup, and they get a massive win in College Station and move on to the next round. That's my picks for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys very soon. Y'all have a good one.